Are we live? Yes, we are live. Great. Live stream. Hopefully this light here doesn't annoy people. If it does, I will move it. I'll put here. Alright. Oh, you forgot. I have one. Yeah, exactly. You can still come in.
Sorry.
Do you know how to, like, maybe this light's a bit bright? Can you recommend me something? Waiting for people to enter the second line. Yes, I am making the phone. Like, it's... No, it's fine. I know you're shy. Pt2, maybe I'll like cross it here. Yeah, that's why you see all this military stuff. Let's see. You are in the back. Hey, how is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Can you hear me fine? Is there echo? Is the sound okay? Audio input capture. Let's try. Yes, snowball. Pop out chat. Cool. Yo, was on Discord when I received the YT notification. You can hear me clearly. Cool. Great. So I'm going to sort of divide this into sort of a mix between a Let's Play of Episode 2. I think you were here last time, Santino. And I'm also going to be showing a few of my military relics, my small little historical collection that I've collected over the years. So let me just open Hearts of Iron right now. I'm still trying to get used to the concept of live streaming. I'm more of a kind of guy that just edits things. It's like... So can you still hear me fine? Can you still hear me? But, yep. Yo, Amerikanski Spy, man. Thank you for joining. I know it's you. Yeah, the other live stream, I'll explain sort of what happened in it, and it was really interesting. Lasted 4 hours, even though most of the action happened within the span of 2 hours, but I kind of was like, what the heck, I might as well play, you know, the rest of it. So I think this is fine. I don't know if, yeah, we can use expert AI like before. Cool. Hey, for Trahasis, yeah, someone mirrored that video, but the YouTube gods actually reinstated the video. So if you want to check out the video on the Jewish origins of Bolshevism, you can check it out. Obviously, that makes me sound a bit anti-Semitic, but actually it's debunking the anti-Semitic myth. But it's still a very interesting video nonetheless. It goes into quite a bit of detail on who was a minister of what, where, blah, blah, blah. So if you enjoy that kind of like political history, you will enjoy that video. It explains also why Jews... In a nutshell, of course, because I can't go into too much of that, but it also explains the reason why Jews joined the Bolshevik Party, the fact that Jews weren't just in the Bolshevik Party, they were in the Jewish Bund, they were in the Mensheviks as well, the social revolutionaries as well. So it goes into that sort of detail. But YouTube thankfully reinstated that video, and they actually removed their age restriction on the video, I think, because finally someone actually manually reviewed it, and they actually listened to my complaint because they, as you know, they removed it before. So I might have to do a video telling people to go watch it while it's still on the air. Does that answer your question? Sorry if it sounds loud. 8 people are watching now. That's great. Yeah, I'm very happy it's back up too, because it had 30,000 views, and when they age restricted it, the video, before they restricted the video, it was actually growing quite a lot, like almost to the rate where my other popular videos were growing. Like by now it would probably had like 100,000, 150,000 views. So it's sad that they stopped, they restricted that, because once they restricted that, the video pretty much died. So hopefully with them removing the restrictions, the video is gonna go to more audiences, and they will ignore the flagging of the video now that they've manually reviewed it. Another question by American Ski Spy: were there Jews in the White Army? I'm pretty sure there must have been Jews. I haven't really gone into detail, but there must have been, because, for example, there was a Jewish cadet who I think he was a monarchist, called Leonid Kanigisser, or at least he was loyal to the provisional government, who tried to assassinated this head of the Cheka in St. Petersburg, Leningrad. And yes, there were Jews in the black shirts. Prominent Jewish bankers and stuff, and politicians were involved in the Mussolini government up until even during the war. It was not until 1938 when you had the Italian racial law that was sort of, I think, the Italians beckoning to the Germans, trying to say, hey, we're following your Nordic racial policy, whatever, let's be allies. But in reality, Jews did play a role in the Italian fascist government. That's why people have to take it more, with a more nuanced approach. I'm just trying to I'm gonna set it up in another resolution before we get started. I'm good, Dark Warrior. I'm decent. Working on Bagration, as I said before, but I was a bit stalled when I was doing Bagration, and now I think I'm doing much better. I managed to finally finish the Order of Battle of a completely unrelated, well, not completely unrelated, but like I managed to finish the Order of Battle of the Battle of the Cherkessy Pocket from December to February 1944, December 1943. That took me forever. I was trying to verify sources. I was trying to do this, that, so. And I'm not even sure that I got it 100% correct, but I'm sure you guys don't really care about the Order of Battle, because that's not what I'm trying to make this documentary about. The Operation Bagration documentary is trying to talk more about the military theory aspects of Bagration, obviously, because I'm always paranoid that I get the Order of Battle wrong. We do gotta play Hearts of Iron sometime. We do. So, before we start Hearts of Iron, of course, because I'm gonna obviously explain things and stuff. I'm gonna show some military stuff. Let me see. It's all much more nuanced and popular. Yes, Hitler did make quite a few half-Jewish people honorary Aryans. And he also, about 200,000, I believe, served Mischlinge, which means people of partial Jewish descent, served up until, I believe, 1940. That being said, that doesn't remove the biologically racist component of Nazism, which is to a degree abhorrent. Italian people have to understand that Italian fascism is really extreme patriotism, even more extreme than people might argue in the United States. So people have to consider that, when they're reviewing such powers. So, before we start, I'm going to show you my little collection. Now, I've been collecting military stuff ever since I was about 14 when I bought my first helmet. This was it. That being said, it's a reproduction. I've worn it. Oops, sorry. I've worn it in one of my videos. It's, I believe, an M38 helmet. So I can literally play, you know, Hearts of Iron, dressed as a German. Oh, that's cool. This is an original though. This was made in China, but it's actually quite durable and it's very heavy. It's actually one of my heaviest helmets. So they supposedly made it out of the remains of like damaged helmets, but I don't believe that at all. But it's decent. It has a decal right here, old German decal. It does look good. It's a good quality helmet. It is an M38 made in China, but hey, it works. Yes. And then this next one, so let me show it again. I've used it in a couple of my videos. Nothing special, but still, it's my first helmet that I ever had. It is a nice aesthetic. This is my famous helmet from my famous myth of Soviet numerical superiority video. This is thank you, man. I really appreciate that, Victor. I try to make things more nuanced. I used to be very partisan about things. I understand people that are partisan about things, but you know, I respect Russia. That being said, I don't like the government, but I understand the decisions they make, and I respect the Russian people. And you know, you guys have interesting history, man. The Chinese NRA used Stahlhelms. Yeah, the nationalists, they did use a Stahlhelm. So this is I bought this in Berlin from a military gear shop. Back in the day, I was a bit. I've never been like a military equipment enthusiast. I like collecting stuff, but I'm not really like, oh, I know, I can verify, you know, the exact dimensions of this helmet for its authenticity. So this helmet I just bought in a shop. I was like, oh, cool, this is like a World War II helmet. That's fine. Then you must be Ukrainian. I'm sorry. I really can't distinguish between your surnames, so apologies for that. But yeah, I was like, oh, this looks like a Russian helmet. But then I realized in World War II, I think a lot of the Russian helmets had like these little, like, little pieces of like metal. They look like metal rings that were here that like protruded out on each side, whereas this doesn't have it. It has it here, and for some reason, my dude who sold me this gave me this tacky red star. So I'm assuming this helmet was probably from like the 70s or something like that. The Nationalist Army did use German equipment, though, Corporal Tommy, and they used whatever they had. So the next helmet, I believe this is an original. This is an actual World War II original. They're albeit repainted and with a new chin strap. It does look old, but I'm not sure. I really can't verify these things. This is my British Mark II helmet, as you can see. If I ever want to play Hearts of Iron as a British guy, I can just take one of these. Now, it looks original. You see there's a bit of a dent here. This chin strap looks quite old. There's a date on it that's stamped into the metal. Usually reproductions don't have the dates and the serial numbers stamped into the metal, so that kind of makes me think that it's a real helmet. That being said, the inside, where I put my head, is a reproduction and stuff. looks like a chap's hat. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of have a chap's hat. I'm going to give me a second. Do you mean like a hat like this? Is this what you mean by a chap's hat? Yeah, this is... I have everything, guys. Remember, I'm in France right now. I'm not in the Czech Republic, you know, with my normal minimalist background. Yeah. So, I have my little chap's hat right here. I could put it like that and tap dance for you all, and you'll be entertained as hell. But yeah. So, I think this is original, but it was just painted with an OD green. The straps are real, but the inside isn't, and that's how they advertised it. Like I said, the serial number is stamped in to the helmet, 1939. I haven't really verified much else, but that kind of makes it seem like it's authentic. And if it's not, who cares? It looks nice. It's pleasant, as one of you pointed out. It's aesthetically pleasing. So now I'm gonna actually go into my really authentic things. Okay? So now, this is another German helmet. Apologies if it's dusty. This is a Luftschutzgesetz gladiator helmet used by Luftwaffe auxiliaries during the war that would maintain the searchlights, which would be pointed at the sky to detect enemy allied bombers and stuff. This one, it looks like this the numbers weren't stamped on it, but the wear and tear of it is indicative of a very old helmet. Maybe what could have happened is that after the war, because usually what happened is after the war, police forces in Germany and Czechoslovakia reuse these helmets, which is why mine doesn't have the swastika in the front, because they probably scratched that out. However, that being said, the helmet has a degree of wear and tear, a very big degree of wear and tear, and it actually has a name in it, like Klaus or something. So I haven't really verified the unit and stuff, but I looked at pictures and it looks very similar. You can see here there's a line that shows that the helmet was 2 sheets of metal that were welded together, and that's how the original design of the Luftschutzgesetz helmet was made. So as you can see, they welded 2 sheets of metal together. So this one is definitely, in my opinion, I believe it's authentic. That being said, I didn't pay too much for it because I got it sort of at an auction slash, like at a fair pretty much, from a guy who just randomly had it, so it doesn't matter to me. Now, this is the part. I am not a Nazi. Oh, you are Nazis. Yes, the first version of the British helmet was based on the medieval British helmet, and even the second. So this is where we're actually getting into kind of weird territory before we start the live stream. In France, we have these things called brocantes, which they're like flea markets that French villages, I know you're joking, that French villages have, where people just, they want to get rid of all their crap, right? And just to make a bit of money, but they don't really care about making a profit. They just want to get rid of their crap. And you might think, oh, how can you find such historical artifacts in these like French yard sales, you know? And the reality is, French villages are littered with historical artifacts. It's crazy how many old things you can find in French villages. In this house, in the cellar, there's a ton of crap lying about that's at least 50, 60, 70 years old from my girlfriend's grandmother and her great-grandparents or whatever. Things like that. Not her great-grandparents, her grandparents who were born, who are World War I babies, you know? So, here we go. We have a, oh God, oh no, oh! We have a French tin, like a rationing tin. This is from 1970. I don't have Adrian helmets yet. So, yeah, exactly, Volgograd is filled with, from military history to fashion show, and I'm not mad. This is a fashion show. But yeah, this is dated 1970. Tu vis dans la ville. I don't live in a French village. I live in the Czech Republic, but I used to live in a French village, in my girlfriend's village, and we're visiting right now, and I have all my stuff here. So here, this is a pure pork to cook. I think it's already cooked, maybe. From the year 1970. You could see the date here. You can see the corrosion and the rust. So that's really cool. And then and I got this at a brocante, by the way, because people were just trying to get rid of all their crap. This is, oh my god, this is even worse. Bœuf en sauce. So like beef in like a sauce. This one, I don't know if it has a date on it, but this is pretty cool. You could see it's old as hell. Someone just kept it around, and I'm sure you can see the date where this originates from by just researching maybe the company Olida. It might not exist anymore. So finally, from our ration pack, we have chocolate. An old rusty piece of chocolate. There's obviously nothing inside. Also produced in Paris. Also from 1970. You can see the date. 1970 right there. So this is a 50-year-old box of... It's not edible. Because there's nothing in it. So a 50-year-old box of chocolate. And finally, like really disgusting pieces of paper that were used. I don't know why people kept this. This is to eliminate the tiredness and to allow like strength. What is this? I can't really read. Oh, this is like fruit juice. Like energy fruit juice from like God knows when. Probably from 1970 as well. The person who gave me this, their father or their grandpa, was probably, you know, a soldier during that time. This is this like yeast or something? I'm not sure. So I have crap like that. I don't think I'm gonna show you too much more. And I have a little bottle as well. But this is all mainly from 1970, and I keep it in a little box, these mess tins, because maybe in the future, I don't know. You know, when we're all adults, in the future, this will be as old as World War II things are today. So it'll be quite interesting to have this collection. Let me just put this back. Sorry. So I have something that's really cool that you are all going to love. Now, my girlfriend's father, he is an architect, but he is also like an amateur historian. And since he's an architect, he always analyzes historical things around this village. Like, for example, there were 2 castles here. So he does that. And but he also collects like books and documents from the 17th century, from the 19th century. He has a couple in his house. So really this is kind of an area where you can really get history out. So that being said, just like him, I went to the brocante and I got a piece of sheet music that is over 100 years old. Can you guys see? Let me check. Yes. It is a piece of sheet music from December the 15th, 1900. I got it at the brocante, very, very cheap. I need to verify it because it does look a bit like it hasn't been destroyed. But, like, I'm telling you guys now, if people preserve, like, paper quite well, it can last a while. For example, like, I've seen books here from the 19th century that they don't look brand new, but they don't look destroyed like if they were through a war. You have to remember, this part of France, even though France has been engaged in many wars, in World War I, the front line was very far away, and in World War II, even though the Germans occupied Aquitaine, Bordeaux and stuff, there wasn't that much fighting here going on. So most of everything was preserved. And you see here in older French. Oh, I want to be very careful with this. The music sheet right here that I have. Guess how much this cost me, guys? Just this piece of history right here. Even if this is a reproduction, like this is a relic. Even though I don't think it is, to be honest. Because in brocantes, people sell things that belong to their families for generations. Close, but a bit lower. Sorry, my hair is a bit like, and I don't know how to do it. Close, but no dice. A bit lower. Any other guesses? Let's wait. Maybe people will guess. Any other guesses? $4.99, no. This is smart. €1. Yes. €1. €1. Not $2. Close though. But it's to show you, for example, if you look in my videos, you'll see that I have an old picture, an old postcard from 1916 of a French soldier. Yeah, of a French soldier from 1916, and they're super common. This historian sold it to me. And I bought it for like €2 or €3. And like, it was verified. I verified the guy's unit. The card pretty much looked old as heck. Like, it didn't look manipulated, so the guy's unit was real. The place where the guy mentioned, the soldier in the postcard mentions his unit is stationed, was real. The unit was there, and like I said, and the way that he wrote his the postcard, it was very real. It wasn't artificial. Like, pretty much when it gives you a glimpse of how soldiers actually perceive war. He doesn't mention any of the fighting, because he's not going to depress his, like, loved one, In Hollywood and stuff, it's kind of weird how soldiers, when they're writing home, they're writing about how crap their situation is, and, oh, someone died, and this, that. Like, I don't think you want to worry your loved ones, So he's mainly talking about things he did, like, to pass the time, like, oh, we went to mass in this church, and the photographer took this picture, but as you can see, it's not that good, so he's gonna take another one. I've been just doing this and that, running errands, basic stuff in this town, and he's mainly saying, like, oh, say hi to this person for me, say hi to this person for me, oh, I hope Natalie's baby's birth is gonna be good, and just like I hope our birth is gonna be good. So it's really cute how he spoke to his wife in the postcard. He was pretty much insinuating that she was pregnant, and that he was excited for the child. So it really adds for a more humanistic portrayal of soldiers in war, you know? It's not like, oh yeah, we did this and this guy's arm got blown off, you know? Like, it's not so grotesque. That makes sense. Exactly. Yeah, it's bad enough that he's in war. Exactly. The last thing they want to know is that he's in danger, and the last thing he wants to do is frighten his family. He's more like wanting to reminisce about being with his family. So obviously, like the soldier wants to, you know, worry about his family, not the war. So when you see like in History Channel and stuff, they put diaries. A diary is different because a diary is more for yourself. This was a postcard directed at civilians, at your loved ones back home who are just worried and thinking about you all day. So the last thing I'm gonna show before we get started with the Hearts of Iron 4 element of the live stream is a canister. I got this for a couple of euros, as you can see. I was very worried because gas masks used to be made with oh, that's an interesting, writing a letter, yeah, I don't know. Gas masks, I believe in World War II, I researched this a bit, were usually made of asbestos, I think, and I actually put this gas mask on to take a picture. I just for 2 seconds, and I breathed in a little bit of the flakes, and it made me so paranoid. But then I called my mom, obviously, like, Mom, because she works in the medical industry, and she was like, you're fine, stop caring so much. So this looks to me like a World War II gas mask. It could be from the 70s. It's a bit plasticky, but it does look like a variant of a French World War II gas mask. But I'm obviously not super sure, and it's very kind of dirty-ish. Definitely old, though. It has that rust, that metallic rust, that can't just be reproduced by everybody. So as you can see, this is how I took a picture of myself with this gas mask and this helmet, even though they're not made by the same armies, but you could see how they kind of resemble in a bit. And I think there must be somewhere dates, but like I said, the objective of buying all these things is that when I go full-time on YouTube, that'll grant me enough time to actually start doing this and researching these things at home. I would probably have time right now, but like when I go full time on YouTube, I'd probably anticipate buying a house or whatever, and putting these up for display, and kind of this part's coming off a bit, and putting these parts here to research them and to put them on display, because I don't really like fiddling with them too much, because I'm scared that I'll damage the artifacts. That's a very creative name for poem. Oh. Sorry, it's God, it won't go in. It won't go. This is there we go, it went in. Yeah, I have to kind of nudge it a little bit, and it'll scratch off a little bit of the rust, but like I don't really have much of a choice at this point. Okay, no. Oh my god. This is what happens when you like have things, historical artifacts that won't go in. So just bear with me while I figure this out. Oh my god. Invade Iran, bomb Iran. Very random. I don't know what my opinion on the Iran conflict is, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave this on the side. I'm not sure. I think I want to contain it because it must have kind of hazardous materials, but I'm obviously risking my life to entertain. I wouldn't say that I am, but but you know me. Okay, so okay, maybe this way. I'm very confused. The French, what is your opinion on the French doctrine in World War I? I'm not too familiar with the French doctrine in World War I, to be honest. I'm not really specialized too much in World War I. The most I could tell you is like Russian doctrine in the Russian Civil War, but World War I, I'm not. I just think I think the problem with World War I is that armies weren't used to having reserve systems. I mentioned this in my reservist video about the Germans in World War II. They weren't really used to having reserve systems, so they weren't used to having these prolonged wars of attrition. And we were pretty much World War I basically was a war where armies were trying to engage in maneuver warfare, precisely the Germans were, whilst simultaneously having the resources and reservist structures that would kind of gear for wars of attrition and prolonged conflicts. That's why I'm of the opinion that France might have still managed to beat the Germans even without the British helping them, and we could see that in the Battle of the Marne. I believe most of the vast majority of divisions were French. Yes, you can't wait for Yugoslavia stuff to come out. Hopefully it comes out at one point. Okay, sorry, this is really like... Sorry guys, I'm like really like... I'm gonna have to put that there, and I'm just gonna be right back and clean my hands very quickly. Alright, so I'm back. I cleansed myself as much as I could, hopefully. In a simple version, early World War I doctrine, attack, attack, attack. And then artillery rules. That's alright. Serbs complaining 10 years after the video was released. Yeah, they probably. I don't know. So guys, let's start the Hearts of Iron segment of this video. I think I've shown you the most important stuff. I have like maybe coins and Roman artifacts and stuff, but nothing too crazy. I do have some gold that I excavated in a river. I need to see if it's still there because I tested it by putting some soap to make sure that it wasn't pyrite or whatever you call it. So yeah, still there and still shiny as always. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a beautiful sight. Yep. Pretty much fool's gold, yeah. I put soap inside to see if it would float or if it would rust away, and it's been submerged in this water, this soapy water, for literally a year, and it's still gold and shiny. So I don't know, you be the judge, but it's I'm pretty sure this is gold. Pretty sure that's gold. And fool's gold, yeah. Freaking hell. I hate taking out that gas mask because it's itchy. Okay. Let's start the live stream. Now that everybody's been fascinated. By the way, who's Yannick in the chat? Oh wait, no. You would see him. Shout out to Yannick. Cool guy. Donated to the Patreon. Helping the cause. Alright, cool. So, in case you guys haven't been here, this is what was happening last time. I'm in windowed mode, as you can see. So, I decided to invade Manchuria last time and attack Japan because they were killing China. They were really killing China, and I was really scared that China was going to lose the war with Japan, and I don't know. It just was a bit unsettling to me that they were it was that bad. So I intervened, and I pretty much kicked Japan's ass, albeit it took me, I'd say, 2 years. I didn't really execute Deep Battle the way I wanted to. And after about 1 million casualties on my part, I managed to kick Japan out of Manchuria and Korea. But I didn't kill them here in Dalian, so they are still here, kind of being a bit of a menace to me in Dalian. So I'm gonna try to see if I can kick them out again, second time. But as you can see, they were completely kicked out of China. Oh god, now I have to fight Finland. So now I have to fight Finland, and it's October 1940. But thankfully we have troops to help. Let me see the comments now. Does the user see what we type here? No, I see what you guys type. Yeah, I see. Don't worry, I see what you type. I have to just check periodically because I have to like exit out of the game. Yes, I have to get Port Arthur back, but first, I think I might need to kill Finland really fast because of the fact that I don't know. This makes me a bit nervous. So I'm just gonna put a front line here. Yes, the Winter War is surprisingly easy. It makes me think like the Soviet Union was really incompetent, or the game is doing some weird stuff here. So I know it's not gonna be the most difficult, but don't be surprised. Let me just But I am growing my army very fast because of the fact that I didn't really have many soldiers in protecting the Western Front against the Germans. So it's something. Yeah. I have done the Great Purges. I've done everything that I need to. So I think I'm okay. Enfield import. Steel. No steel. None from France. But I pretty much killed Japan, like, as a faction, as a country, as a threat. So I'm not worried about the Japanese anymore. Let me see. I need a lot of steel, tungsten, and a bit of rubber. Let's see if we can manage tungsten. Let's go through Asia. Bit of rubber. United States again. Or the Dutch East Indies. I think I'd prefer them. I'm just really scared of Japan, like, using their ships. And the UK with a lot of steel. Okay, improve, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good idea to improve infrastructure. Right here. But I think we're doing okay right now. We have about nearly a 4 million man army, and like I said, I'm guarding the living daylights out of Korea, so I don't think Japan's gonna be able to attack me again. If you look here, they've lost 1.24 million, whereas I've lost 1.06 million. But Manchukuo died, Mengukuo died as well. So I think it's fine. See, boom, there. And I'm sending a ton of troops. Well, I've already sent a ton of troops to the west. So I think we're okay. And that being said, I'm also training 106 divisions. I didn't mention better to max out Blitz. Yeah, I'm maxing out. Are you maxing out the infrastructure? You mean, right? I hear you. Oof. We're having a bit of difficulty right here. Trying to get back to Port Arthur. See what these guys are doing. See, they're all veterans. All my airplanes, a lot of my troops are veterans as well. Put them here. Fighting the Japanese. These soldiers attacking here in Port Arthur aren't my most experienced, I think. I think my most experienced soldiers are here in the Western Front. I think I transferred some of them. Yeah, you see they're all trained. And here, my regular soldiers right here. Well, these are newbies. So we're dealing with these. I think we'll need more local superiority. The most I'm scared about is Japan, like, counterattacking and, you know, screwing me over. But I don't think they... I think they've lost way too many soldiers for them to realistically do that. Exactly. I should have put that as a title. Russo-Japanese War Electric Boogaloo. But now I don't have to worry about these guys. So I'm going to transfer a few planes. These are naval bombers. I don't need those. So I'm not going to use them. I'm going to... Okay, all my fighters are in the east. Let me see if I have any... Yeah, I have 1,000 fighters. So let me deploy some. I don't know. I don't want to lose the equipment if I exercise them. I'd rather just, like, you know, let them gain it. Like, I don't know. I've heard on YouTube a lot that soldiers exercising, it's, like, not the most efficient way. And, I don't know. I don't mind. And plus, like, I'm trying to really modernize their equipment. Oh, I didn't give them missions in Manchuria? I thought I did. I'm sure I'm giving them missions right now, you see? These... Oh, wait. These. Yeah, you're right. I didn't give them missions. Interception. Thank you. But you see, it's a cakewalk in terms of air superiority, and they're gaining experience by doing that. But like I said, I definitely don't have the superiority needed to really, you know, take these guys on. And I still haven't really fixed this line. So let's declare war on Finland and let's see how it goes. Meanwhile, let me Why not? Why not get refineries? Be more self-sufficient. So we're gonna declare war on Finland. The units that are deployed that don't have equipment is due to war. It's I think it'll fix itself. So we're in the Western Front now. Southern Front has too many. The Karelian Front. See, as you can see, deep battle. I've already kind of gone the extra mile with it. Vatutin. He's gonna do stuff. And as you can see, we need to gain air superiority. With sort of a medium intensity units. Doing pretty okay here. I don't know why my units aren't just flanking them. It would seem that's the optimal. Especially cavalry. Cavalry in this game kind of sucks, but I love it. Yes, I'm familiar with the Fallout games, but I've never played them, so I feel like cavalry in this game is really underappreciated. I think it has so much potential, at least if the game is trying to mimic real life. Unfortunately, you know, I don't know if that's the path the game wanted to take. How do you... I mean, I agree with you, Corporal Tommy, because you can see, technically, because usually they're wearing more modern, like 1970s uniforms, such as, this is Chernikovsky, I believe. Yeah, Chervichenko, sorry. But however, Meretskov right here, this is an old picture of him, but he actually survived the war. The only one that I can recall that didn't was Vatutin. He was killed by Ukrainian nationalists in, I believe, late 1943, early 1944. And yes, cavalry is for like is for divisions, but in real life, cavalry played an integral role in helping the Soviet Union, because realistically, you can't keep up mechanized units for so long. Like, they'll run out of supplies and whatnot. So, you know, see, right here, got an encircled unit. Here we're gonna get another encircled unit. The part of the campaign that's really gonna show whether I can implement deep battle in warfare in Hearts of Iron will be against Germany. Because it'll give me time to try to learn. So you can see this was much easier than fighting the Japanese. Yeah, I feel like Paradox did follow the myth that World War II was completely mechanized, which is a bit sad. But I really feel like cavalry is so underappreciated. So, in order to keep up with the authenticity of being authentic, history, I try to use cavalry because I think cavalry is excellent, especially for winter. I think the problem is that Hearts of Iron 4 doesn't account for weather at all. I feel like it has no adverse effect on the Germans and logistics. So that's the reason why cavalry is underappreciated, because of the fact that, you know, logistics isn't really a thing. World War II is like, yeah, with federal... That's what people say, yes. As that characteristic. Let's see. What can I institute? Implement Scorched Earth. No, 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 no. Oh, Finland's actually trying to, like, screw around with me. Convoy escort. Thanks for mechanized vehicles. Let's see if I can, like, really punch a hole. Do like a massive encirclement. That's probably true. That's probably true what TIK says. Even though I don't have the exact statistics and things like that, the Soviets were incredibly mobile because of use of cavalry. Budyonny was crazy, but like, you know, he had a cavalry fetish, but the guy in that sense was a bit right. The cavalry cavalry, they started using it in the onset of the war because mechanized corps didn't have enough equipment and enough tanks. As a result, they had to be abolished, I believe, in July 1941. However, they really played a decisive role in winter, especially, I believe, winter 1941 and winter 1942. So every time there was a winter, not so much a Rasputitsa period, but mainly winter, that's when the Soviets really, they nailed it. They were unprepared for nothing. Yeah, I mean, Soviet situation is in my opinion, very complex beast to tackle. That being said, it fascinates me the more and more I read about it. Wow. Literally, I maxed out. The UK is literally exporting all of its iron ore to me. France. Tungsten. I have to take advantage and trade now while I'm at peace with most countries. Well, the Red Army, yeah, the equipment's the same, but you shouldn't underestimate their mechanized corps. They really did have quite a versatile arsenal. But something I agree with TIK is that the Soviet and German armies generally were acting like World War I armies. You know, they were acting like World War I armies. A lot of the time, in terms of you know, how they prioritized equipment. So we're still having a bit of problem in Dalian, but I don't mind keeping these troops here, these reserves. You're just cuck blocking other countries from the resources by taking them all for yourself. Yes, but you see my economy is huge now because I control Manchuria and Korea. And yes, I'm cuck blocking, but I'm not really trading. I mean, the UK, I didn't take all their resources and they're not using them all. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be fighting the Germans, you know, not really the UK. So none of this cuck blocking business. So the front line has kind of stabilized. I mean, horses aren't, it's not that they're slow, it's that during the winter, missing equipment, tactical bombers, oops. It's that in the winter, horses, can be maneuvered in a way that, that these guys, that trucks and vehicles can't. And also the fact that, it's also the fact that, how do you say that, you know, they're more reliable. Sorry. Much more reliable than trucks. Okay. Do you do naval stuff? If not, then be prepared for Italian naval invasions. Where? That's especially true for Germans. Pretty sure you've heard that they often use horses. Yes, they did. They used horses mainly for logistics. I think they also used bikes a lot. I do agree with TIK's assessment on the oil shortages, but I don't find it to be the most important factor. I think the reserves were much more important because, as you can see, toward the later part of the war, the Germans were actually increasing their economic mobilization, and although that was not sustainable, because the Soviets tried to do the same in 1942, the fact that the Soviets tried to do the same in 1942 and they managed to kind of, you know, do it, shows that I think it was possible for over-mobilization. So we took Helsinki. 26,000 Finnish casualties. Finland's killed 15,000 of my guys, so it's pretty good. Even though the clock is ticking and I'm kind of taking my sweet time a bit too much, I should just make them surrender because I need to start planning for the actual, like, operation. So, let's see how this is doing. So I have 16 cavalry divisions, 11 mechanized corps, 17 NKVDs, and infantry being pumped out. But they don't have enough equipment. Surprisingly. Let me remove these ones that just haven't been traded at all. And just put that in one. Close that out. So I have a ton of units being trained. I've never heard them pesky pasta boys trying to... I've never seen them trying to invade Leningrad, so that's new information to me. But, you know, I do like pasta. Or pasta. Okay, see, Germany actually declared war. Yugoslavia. Do you guys mind if I restart the game? Don't worry, I'll save so that I can have like a bigger screen because my screen's a bit small. It's a bit pesky, a little bit annoying. Sure, I'll restart the game after this war. So we kind of get it's like a prologue. So Japanese, I think I should just stop attacking them so that I don't kill my soldiers. But I think they're like automatically... I need to do a naval invasion, but haven't gotten around to doing it. But they're definitely not gonna like be able to invade Korea, at least, again. NKVD units. Where did I put them? It's June 11th, 1941. That's literally, like, edgy. I'll restart in a second. How many are in our live stream? 10. Surprised that people pay attention to it so much. So you can see Finland dead. Greece just joined the Allies. We're okay. Even though it's February. And I still haven't built the Stalin line. I'm gonna start fortifying level 1 forts behind the Dnieper with level 2 forts right there. Remember if the mass encirclement's happening, even though I'm gonna be encircled. See, it's gamey, man. Look at this crap. Like, it's a spider web. I'm surprised Finland hasn't, like, just died. But I think they won't give up until they surrender. which is 84%, but a bit crazy. Lost about half what Finland has lost, so I'm not too bothered. Oh shoot. Let's see the chat. That's sad to hear, Dark. I'm sorry for you. If you want a good analysis, I think you recommended that me to the comments, Victor. Actually, I do remember you. You know, I'm not putting all my 120 divisions on the Western Front. I suck at supply in this game. Don't even, you know, ask me to explain it. June 19th. That's too risky. I'm just gonna get those guys pumping. I'm just getting them pumping right now. There. My army is 3.83 million. I have 100. Look at those divisions. Oh my lord. That's bad. So I'll have some reserves. I'm gonna send these guys to the east, maybe. Transbaikal front has 48, and send these dudes to Transbaikal front. Rocco, he was in Manchuria, but I changed him. I haven't structured, you know. Military History Visualize made a video about the Wehrmacht. You know what? Military History Visualized, I'll be honest with you guys, I've never really been a big fan of him. I really do think he is a bit like a biased in the way he portrays Germans. He's German, he's Austrian himself, so of course, you know, it benefits him. I'm not accusing him of like doing intentional things, but I'm saying it obviously benefits him to portray the Germans in a more positive light. But I don't know. He makes good videos, but like I said, they only focus on World War II, and they only focus on the military aspect of the war. I rarely see him go into the cultural and societal implications to give a more well-rounded picture of how the war developed and how it affected the psyche of the different peoples. But that being said, TIK doesn't do that either. But I feel like TIK has sort of branded him with a certain style of how he does military history. Oh, we won. Okay. That's edgy. That's some edginess. Okay, so I'm going to save the game now. Autosave. Yeah, the German army was very inept in terms of operations. I really think it was unsustainable. So I'm just gonna restart it. The game again. Change the resolution, maybe. What was it? 76. Maybe this is a resolution I need. I don't think Norway is occupied by the Germans. It's actually a good question. Oh, it's not. Okay, it's responding now. I can't remember. I never paid attention to the Western Front because now I think the game is a little bit rigged in my favor because I control Manchuria and Korea and all those factories. If it's not occupied, then it's gonna be way easier for me. Like, my equipment is up to date. My factories are producing like hell. I've already defeated the Japanese, so I don't really have to worry about being gangbanged. I've defeated this Finnish, so Leningrad is only going to be affected by one front. I don't know what else to say, guys. I think this is going to be it's either going to be a walk in the park or I'll get my ass handed to me in 2 seconds. Go, 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 go. So I'm using the AI, the better AI mod. I wanted to use logistics, but I don't have it. What do you mean, ain't that a kick in the head? Oh, this is much better. Oof. I feel this is... There's more space to breathe. Because I'm going to be micromanaging. Can you guys still hear me fine? Sorry, I got a runny nose. Perfect. Or, oh my god, I think this is... Let me restart again. Sorry, guys. Yeah. No, you can come in though. No, come in. Sorry, my lady is a bit camera shy. It's not that. It's I cannot yodel. It's the resolution mainly. I chose the wrong resolution. It has to be 16,900, I think. No. Ooh, we got closer though. It's not 16,900. No, exit out. Sorry. I gotta remove this. There we go. Sorry about this, guys and gals and whatever. Hopefully this live stream won't be 4 hours like the last one, but I don't think it will be. Because the last one was from 1936. This, I think it's this one here. Yes, this is the resolution I wanted. It's a bit too big sometimes, but it has too much. It has a lot more depth. So, are there any other questions? Any Q&As? Because I want to do a Q&A when I get to 10,000 and stuff. I have a lot of plans for the channel. I'm making a list of future videos, so I literally have so many ideas that there's enough content for the next, realistically, I would say the next year, if I continue at this pace, because I do my animations myself, and I'm not really a fan of just the slideshows with the pictures and someone talking in the background. Yes, Russia will stretch from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Hashtag take France. To the English channel, I mean. Hashtag to the English channel. runny nose. Okay, so we're back. We are... I can speed it up a little bit, but I don't know if that's such a good idea. So now I have... Actually, no, let me put it down to 3. Because I think that's only fair. Actually, 4 is fine. So we have the Karelian front. We don't need any more. We have the Western front. We have to redraw the Western front from, I would say, Suwalki to the northern Pripyat marshes. So that's what I'm going to do with the Western front. The southwestern front, like in real life, will be from the southern portion of the Pripyat marshes, as well as some of the borderland with Hungary. And we will, I will put some units there. I think mainly mountaineers from the western front would be a good idea. I haven't seen the comments yet, so don't worry. And then we have the northern front, which will be from Palanga to Suwalki as well. As you can see, I have a lot of experienced commanders now, so I really doubt that the Germans will be able to hit me. Look at how OP Ivan Konev is in the south. And then finally we have the southwestern front, which is just ridiculously overpowered to the point where there are just too many soldiers. So I'm gonna have to remove some from the southwestern front and move them to the interior. We still have too many soldiers though, so again, sending them. As one of you mentioned, supplies might become a problem, but it's life. Thank God I pronounced the Lithuanian word correctly, Palanga. Yes, I think learning Czech has really assisted me in that endeavor. So now what we're doing is we are sending troops to the northwestern front. By the way, all these units, the northern, southern, southwestern, they're going to be subordinated to Stavka units, like sort of like in real life. So I'm trying to mimic real life. So for example, the southwestern and the southern front will be they will be subordinate to Stavka South. Let's call it Stavka South. And let's give Popov a role, since he has a very, very good experience. The plan is very simple. Each of these fronts they're going to have fallback lines, right? They will have fallback lines right around here. And these fallback lines can be occupied by reserve units. The reserve units will be military districts that can be reattached to fronts at a moment's notice. So here, for example, this will be a fallback line, and this will be a fallback line. And hopefully this will be a fallback line too. No guarantees though. And oh, I think I'm starting to sense the Germans. I think they're gonna attack. So the southern front still has a lot of units, a lot of tanks especially. I think it doesn't need. So they're fine right here. The northern front still has a bit too many soldiers. I'm gonna send them to the Karelian front. And we send them to the top. Send these dudes. So the northern front and the western front are going, well, they're already subject to Stavka West, which will be controlled by Zhukov. I know a bit about the Baltic states, but mainly older stuff. Are you happy I freaking did what you wanted? So the northwestern front. They'll be here. Up to here. And then they'll have a fallback line like here as well. I don't know. I'm a bit like intimidated with the amount of units that I have. This will be the Kiev military district, and this will serve as just a pool for soldiers to be let me just remove this. Just a pool for soldiers to be to replace losses in the other fronts. I'm gonna actually move them here. It's just basic infantry, because I don't really anticipate fighting with them in such a way. So I have 47 right here. That's the Kiev military district. Press shift. I know, but like, I don't know if I have time to do that, son. I'm building forts right now. Now this is the Crimea military district. Koshnikov. And let's move this and put these guys. And put half. Hearts of Iron doesn't really represent World War II that well, in my opinion. In my opinion. The logistics is a nightmare, and it just doesn't. Support equipment's still a problem. Medium tanks are still a big problem. So let's remove some of this and prioritize my guys here. I think I've been building enough of this. aluminum, rubber, tungsten. Okay. So we have our military districts here that have been created. So yeah, probably put them here and create a new military district. Okay, this is I'm gonna put a Baltic military district by Meretskov, and it will occupy this area. So I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to do with these military districts. Essentially, when the front line breaks apart, the troops in the military districts can be used to sort of be sent to the front line. Nice talking to you too, man. 2 a.m. I don't have a song, and I don't know that song. I would give it a go. The issue is, you know, copyright strikes and stuff like that. This is the Karelian front. Or actually, no, it doesn't even have to be a front. It's the Karelian military district. So military districts, the way I structure them, they're just mainly for like for pooling reserves, or you know, doing that kind of stuff. And yes, Germany does occupy you know, this area for some of you who said it wasn't true. The Leningrad front has been dissolved. I'm going to make the Finnmark front. It's going to be very interesting. This will be Andrei Vlasov. See who's still watching. 7 of you. That's good. That's decent. So tanks that's interesting. I don't know how I'm gonna do with tanks. So the southern front and southwestern are fine. I'm also going to be putting these 2 armies with the Stavka South. So now Stavka South has 4 separate army groups. Second army, this will, I guess, be the reserves for the center. This is probably going to be the central front, if you want me to be honest, once the front line collapses, which I'm sure it will. This will be Smolensk Military District. And this will be commanded by Ivan Chernyakovsky. Now, why do you guys think I'm not using Rokossovsky? Do you have any idea? Oh, wow. I didn't realize I was winning here so badly. So any ideas why I haven't used this my duty yet? Well, you don't have to know how it works, really. Essentially, I'm, sorry, my eyes. He's gonna be a tank commander, as predicted. See, this is gonna be another military district. This will be Rostov. So military districts, the way I envision them is they will sort of act as like really like last minute fronts, like Soviet fronts, in case my front collapses and I have to, you know, Bryansk military district. For example, the Bryansk military district will become the Bryansk front, like in real life, and even though Bryansk is right here, so I'll probably have to change that to reflect the fact that there's a front here. So this will be the final one that I put in Stavka South. Whereas the Bryansk front, I'm putting that in Stavka West, as well as the Smolensk military district. I'm very organized in this, mainly for role-playing reasons, even though my organization doesn't really do much, you know, in terms of helping me. The Bryansk military district. Oh, I thought it had. Oh, that sucks. I thought it had enough. Okay. It's not. So the Bryansk front has a bit too many soldiers. That's a bit of an issue. I'm confused now. The Smolensk. Okay, the Smolensk front will have soldiers as well. So, you guys excited to see the final battle unfold? Japanese, we've already taken care of them. They are history. Historia. So the Karelian front, they're just guarding the ports. Germans hopefully don't kick my ass. Okay, so the Smallest military district will be part of... God, why am I speaking like that? It's going to be part of Stavka West. And the... And then I have to make a new one. With the Karelian Front, the Baltic Front, Karelian Military District, and the Finnmark Front. This will be Stavka North, as well as the Leningrad Front. So Stavka North. And it doesn't need a good commander, so it'll be Clement Voroshilov, like in real life. Put these guys back. Ooh. So finally, I think I'm gonna make the Leningrad front again, just in case things turn sour, which I don't think they will. Put So the Western Front has a bit too many soldiers, so I will send some to the Leningrad Front because it is depleted. And this... Okay, so good. The only front that's not really part of anything is the Leningrad Front, and I will put that in the north. So you have the Karelian Front. Where the hell is this? I do not know. Why does it even still exist? Germans are about to attack. Oh, they attacked. Oh, now we're in it, boys. We are in it. We're being invaded by Germany. And I haven't even had time to set up my air force. This happens when you rush people. So now we put speed 3 in all fairness. And I think I'm going to attach this to... I'm going to attach this to the Western Front. To the Northern Front, I'm going to attach that. I'm going to attach him to the Western Front as well. See how that goes. So far, as expected, the Germans are kind of kicking my ass. Hopefully they don't kill me too quickly. So I'm gonna create a secondary front line. Get them to retreat. Oof. Brutal right now. They are kicking my ass. Not so badly, but like I don't know if I could say it's surprising. I guess send some units. So far I don't think I've gotten that many units encircled, but they're doing some damage to me. I might have to redeploy units. As you can see, this is why my military districts exist, so that I'm able to redeploy in a moment's notice. Oh, it's too many. Managing in a crude way. I'm managing. I still haven't really deployed my tanks. It's kind of weird. A tank army. I don't know if this is like a mega tank army. First tank army. What do you? I don't know if I'd put them like maybe here. So you see, these guys are just losing guys. So that's the key. My military districts are able to generally help. Belarus is doing good, but Germans are screwing up the others. Northern front, need to send more soldiers, but yeah. Surprisingly, I'm doing okay. For what's been handed to me. Kiev military district is holding out, but I have to keep these military districts quite fluid. See ya, DJ Khaled. Ooh, that's not good. Stop this encirclement. Okay. Southwestern front is falling apart. I have to bring my soldiers back right here. Push them back. Why do I have so many soldiers? This is for the southwestern front. No. This is for the southern front. No. What are you doing? Any strategies, any tips anybody has? Still haven't taken Minsk. A positive development. Operations. I'm sending troops from the Bryansk front forward in order to fill up the gaps created due to these envelopments. That's how I think the game should be played. In the north, in the Baltic, it's going quite well. My main worry is with the center. It's falling apart very quickly. Ooh, someone on Steam messaged me. Cat Sniper. Oh! Gotta retreat very fast. Right now, as you can see, they're holding up. They're holding up, I'd say. I'm quite surprised. I'm happy. We look at the Asian sector. The Japanese have pretty much been surrounded. Right here, just kind of kicking them out and stuff. And I don't even think I've used my main tanks. Support artillery. And we also put signals. Signals might have been better for these other guys. Women in the workforce, stability, recruitable population. I don't think we need that yet. Anglo invasion of Iran. So let's get these guys over here. I think their days are numbered. Accidentally withdrew. Why aren't they going back? So now we have the Western Front, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put them all here and let them kind of stabilize now that we have new fronts coming out. Ooh, they made a breakthrough here. Right now it seems like I'm able to like retreat in pretty good order. Why? What do you mean? Why is the res so low? Is it? I had no idea. Nobody told me that the resolution is quite low. Try to go on HD because I don't see it as being low. Oh shit, Kiev might fall. Yeah. Oh. Snap. Ooh. I mean, where the guys are. I don't know. So right now, it seems like they're having certain challenges. They did cross the Dnieper here, but let's rename that. They've crossed it, so now we have to rename it the Central Front. That's the name of the game. Once they start attacking, you have to give it a certain name. So the Central Front, we have to start protecting. We can only see half the screen. That's... Ah, you can only see... Let me edit, sorry. Is that better? I can't show you the whole thing because it's not, it's a weird resolution. Ooh. They are, So August the 24th, Germany hasn't really attacked me here in the Finnmark front. Here, we've pretty much killed the Japanese and secured East Asia from them. But I don't know how big the army is here. Northern front, I think I'm going to spread them all out. Now the Baltic military command, I think I'm going to kind of do something like this, maybe? This is a bit of a challenging war, I meant to say. Okay, I just upgraded right here. Ooh, it's 30. Ooh, shoot. Encircled here. Thankfully they can withdraw. Totally got encircled right there. Fall of Kiev. There we go. Now this is turning into an interesting war. Oof. Oh, and they're doing an exploitation right here. Totally forgot. So that is the Kiev military district. I'm gonna probably call this the Southwestern Front from now. Southwestern Front, because the other Southwestern Front was pretty much destroyed. So this will have to be the Reserve Front. And as you manage to see, this like little this strategy has worked to a degree. And as you can see, the Southern Front is about to be annihilated as well. I think I'm going to remove that, even though there's a Crimea Front, and I'm going to put these in the back. That's going to go to the Crimea Front, and now the Crimea Front should have good soldiers. But so from it's the Crimea military district, but it's going to become the Crimea Front. Any suggestions would be great. Rokossovsky's tanks, they didn't manage too well. But that's fine. We were not meant to manage the best because I haven't used them all. This is the better variant. Here. Okay, so the northern front is collapsing. It's reaching the reserves, which I'm very scared of them like mixing. As you can see, it's kind of mixing a little bit too much. So the Baltic military district, I think I'm removing. It's served its purpose to a degree. Northern Finnmark front line is quite static. Here it's not static. I think I'm gonna create a front line now. This front needs a front line. Okay. Suggestions. I accept them all. So the Crimea front has way too many guys. That's why, because I didn't actually name it the Crimea front right here. Crimea front. And this is going to be like the Rostov military district, which will pull soldiers into the Crimea front. So that's fine. That's fine and dandy. Oh my lord, look at that gap. That is a gap. That needs to be fixed, urgently. So I'm gonna take these surviving units of the reserve front, and I'm going to plug the gap in with the Kalinin front, if anybody knows what that is. And I'm just gonna have Govorov as a general. So army. Central. So the Karelian front. I'm sending all them soldiers there. So Germans are attacking in Norway. I don't think they're winning. I don't think they're losing either. See how this has 24, this has 10. I did not realize this front was so weak, but it's not weak actually. And I totally forgot that I was at war with Iran. That is a very big fail. But I do have an army of sufficient size. Call this 44th Army or whatever, I don't know. It's fine, it's not really not a big deal. And now we can start sending some of the Transbaikal people to attack the... Oh, yeah, the Iranians are fucking me. Oops. That was very stupid of me. 62nd Army. Thankfully, I do have, like, enough equipment to deal with this threat. Really stupid, guys, but I think it's okay. This war is manageable. It's more manageable than other times I've played. So 22 right here, and 2 of these guys. The Kalinin front. The main issue I have with the Kalinin front is it gets overstretched quite a lot, as you can see right here. But the northern front has stabilized, hopefully. Right here. I have Soviet troops here that have already reacted to, you know, Iran. So now I think I'm going to enact Great Patriotic War, implement Scorched Earth policy. And Order 66, I think, would be nice. Right here. Chat's gone a bit quiet. So this is the Western Front, which is now pretty much the new reserve front. So now I'm going to have to put these soldiers behind Moscow and call them the reserve front. But I think it's fine, the Kalinin front's gonna do that job for me. So let's see the casualties right now and see how we're doing with the German-Soviet war. So the Germans, So I've lost about 2.4 million soldiers in the German-Soviet War. But this is counting the Japanese killing me in the previous war. So in reality, I think I've lost 1 million against the Germans so far. Yeah, because it's counting the Japanese. So if you don't count the Japanese, it's about 1 million. It's good because the Germans are, you know, as you can see here, almost like in real life, the Germans are kind of trying to make an encirclement in Minsk. Now I'm using my tanks to great use, hopefully. Ooh, wow. Our troops are doing good. And I have about 3.7 million in manpower. Again, a lot of them are in the east. So, guarding against Japan. Whilst my west struggle. As you can see here, they have had a bit of difficulty getting to Leningrad. In real life, by now, they should have gotten to Leningrad, because the siege of Leningrad started around mid-August 1941. So they have not done that. That's positive news, in my opinion. It's already October. They should also have taken Orel and Bryansk, and they have not. I'm not sure about Ryazhev, but Operation Typhoon, which was the Axis push to Moscow, started around this date, 1941. So they have not done that. Excellent news. That being said, there seems to be sort of a development going on in Gomel. Hopefully, they're not trying to repeat the Axis success in the encirclement of Kiev, which was the largest encirclement in history. I don't think so, though. Oh, yeah, they are trying to do it. I need to shorten my front line. Northern front is being a bit docile. So I've managed to build units, emergency units, to contain the Iranians. That should be fine. In real life, the invasion of Iran was very fast and very effective, but in this game, it's not turning out to be that way. We have Japanese contained here. They only have like a couple divisions, but they're so hard to penetrate. Okay, so it looks like their encirclement efforts to no avail, which is great. Now they're trying to do the same in Tallinn. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. They've managed it. I have to withdraw. Killing in front got shortened a bit. That's very good news. Usually it gets overextended. But it hasn't. Six right here. Artillery on me. Oops, that's me. Okay. So, the prospects of war. Generally positive. I expected things to go a bit sour. Germans aren't really doing a big push. They've done some encirclements, but none of them have been life-threatening. The biggest encirclement they did was 6 divisions, which is significant. It's not insignificant. That's pretty much it. Now the Rostov front is getting a bit too close to the front line, so I'm going to move it again. Because my main front is actually fully intact. That is very, very cool. They're all with 24 divisions, meaning I haven't gotten massively encircled by the enemy. Now, we have to do the same to Iran and just invade and take their country from them, but it's going to be challenging. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm not going to lie. I didn't execute this the best way possible. Bit of a meat grind. So they still haven't taken Bryansk or Orel, and we're nearing November. I'm hoping this game has a pretty strong winter mechanic so that I can survive, but I doubt it will. But it's gone quite well. It's looking like the real war. And I think German casualties are starting to rack up, about 400,000, and 1.1 million for me. So that's pretty okay. And all the casualties are exclusively mine. Whereas they've also lost nearly 1 million. Well, in the general war, they've lost about 1 million. I've killed more than half. Let's just say that. But Luxembourg has killed nothing. So UK has lost 470,000. So I'm getting Lend-Lease offers as well. So starting to get some units overrun. Nothing big. The northern front is still okay. Finland is still quite safe. I'm gonna check the Finnmark front. That was a reckless, but I think we can actually push them. In real life, the Soviets launched amphibious invasions because from the sea, small amphibious invasions, and they'd actually encircle the Germans because they'd be in front of the Germans. Let's say I did one here, but the infrastructure of northern Norway, Finnmark, near Narvik, and stuff like that, and Tromsø, it's so bad that the Germans could just squeeze past the Soviets, and this sort of seesaw, you know, Soviets did amphibious assaults again, encircled Germans passed them. It happened like quite a few number of times, so it became a bit of a, not a meme, I'd say, but it became a bit of a weird part of the war. I would recommend people reading U.S. Literature from the Army War College, because there's a quite a nice book explaining that. I've only read parts of it, but it really caught my interest. And I have a friend who was a sergeant in the Norwegian army, and he says that the Norwegian army of today tries to replicate that strategy of using the mountains as a defensive position in their foreign policy, I guess their national strategy. Can you say that? It's quite interesting. So support equipment is really letting me down. Really letting me down. Insufficient resources. Tungsten. US. And steel. Steel's the huge problem. Huge problem for me. Steel. Naval route efficiency, that's one of the reasons. Gotta get some from China, maybe. Australia. Turkey. I'm consuming all the steel in the world at this point. So, no. Bryansk front, I think I'm going to start withdrawing them a little bit. Again, we want to keep these reserve fronts for unit redeployments. I don't want them to be near the front line. And of course, we have the reserve front, which is doing its job, let's just say. They're going against fresh units. Hopefully they will lose against those units, because I got tanks. Gotta build this, and the real front line didn't protrude like this. It actually went through the river Oka near Kaluga and Tula as well. We need to make sure that Tula and Moscow do not fall. But it looks like we're holding up. It looks like the Germans are actually starting to lose a little bit of strength. So tungsten, we have to go through the British Raj, get a bit more tungsten, and steel, of course, is the issue. Okay, see, this front seems to be generally stable. The central front and the Kalinin front are kind of working in conjunction with one another. The reserve front, sorry. So it's stopping the enemy, even though the Kalinin front's not actually in Kalinin. I find that quite humorous. And look, oof, wow, what the heck just happened here? What just happened here? My units have pretty much kind of encircled quite a few German units. There's a division here. Looks like there's gonna be quite an encirclement here. So, like I said, genuinely positive. We've been fighting the Iranians a little bit. They seem to be giving a bit of a resistance, but nothing major. Oh god. What the heck? Whoa. That is... Okay, that changed my perspective a little bit. I've lost some factories, but the British are invading them as well. Very stupid of me. I know. They're shortening the front line a little. So again, it seems like I will be able to do quite a bit of damage, making sure that, you know, this area has defenses. I've never been able to construct defenses whilst at war, because I've never held such a stable front line like that. Okay, now put that at that. Ooh. Got two encircled. Not the greatest. So 3.8, I've maintained the same size of army. Quite impressive. Deeply impressed with that. And I'm just like putting my units behind this river, trying to really aim for that stability. But like the Germans, I said, they're growing weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, and hopefully, you know, hopefully we do something. Okay, 32%. That's a bit nerve-wracking. Break the line. So Moscow is they're in the doorstep of Moscow at this point. The reserve front still looking good, still managing. They shorten it to remove some of that pressure. And good, they didn't manage to break through. It's very important they don't. That could destroy the war for me, ruin the war for me. So I have to just keep on chugging them forts out. here. Oh my lord. I really need to shorten the front line right here. Maybe extend this one a little bit. Extending it here would do me okay. We're in Crimea. Surprised they didn't try to kill me. But whatever. So we'll have Ivan Konev. Shorten the front line as well for these guys. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, they did actually break through. That is not good. That is not good. I have to take this back. It's dangerous. I'll manage. It looks like I'm removing some of the pressure. And honestly, I think I can afford to shorten the line again. Attack this guy. 96. 97. First successful counterattack in the war, hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's see if we can fix that by counterattacking back here. Great job. But now they're taking it back. Getting a bit bitter. You know, everywhere else I'm doing okay. The main issue is in the central sector in Moscow. I always find that I need to create more and more fronts. Not like in real life, they've actually held. No. Oh, no, this is not good. Very, very bad news. To the point where I want to send part of the Leningrad front there. I'm gonna call it Vologda front. So this is like 26. Kill these guys. Okay, I think I liberated these guys again. I can't remember. Look at how protruded that is. If I like had trucks and tanks and stuff, maybe I could like cut this salient in half, but it's not easy. It's really hard to do like actual deep battle in this because of how things go so fast. I think if I get some vehicles, right? If I get maybe, I don't think Rokossovsky is even a commander. If I get some tanks and I form a tank army, maybe in the bottom, commanded by Rokossovsky, of course. See, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just protruding like outrageously. But around Moscow, I'm managing to stop them to a degree. Demonstration of military force. I haven't really used lost units in Iran, which has been good. I don't think I've also lost any units here, which is also good. And exploitation, I think exploitation is in the process of happening. I need to send Rocco here. 3 tanks. Plus maybe 1 infantry. Right here. Gonna encircle this division right here. This is what's happening. This is happening. Wow. Wow. You just need to attack sometimes. Good things can happen. But it's kind of hard to attack with tanks with so much forest cover around. Ay, ay, ay. So it looks like we're about to encircle quite a few units. I think I might change the front's name. Crazy how difficult this is becoming. I've done the Stalin mistake and essentially couldn't penetrate. But rest assured, as long as I encircle 1 unit, I think I'll be very happy. See right here. I'm stopping these units right here from reinforcing this one. And I'm shortening the front line. So I think there's a significant there's some significance to what is occurring. We've essentially killed Iran finally. A bit of a difficult war, a bit of a tricky war, but I won't lie. The Raj, I think, did most of the hard work in this one. Thank you, the Raj, for that. Let me stop this advance because we are doing quite well. They've taken Rajev, though. So I'm gonna change the northern front. I'm gonna call it Leningrad front. Look at how difficult it is just to kill off this insert. Finally. Now, look. Destroyed a panzer division and an infantry division. Beautiful. And right north of Moscow, past the Moscow-Volga Canal, it looks like this war. It looks like this might need a part 3 to this series. It always looks quite good. Right here, let's try to capture this. See if we can manage. Oh god. Again, overextended, but that's fine. Let's try to see if we can reach Tehran. Kill off the German division and the panzers. That's very significant. Especially killing off a panzer division. That's next objective would be this panzer division. We'd have to see how that can be accomplished. Sending units right here. Oh my lord. Here. I don't want them to go to the Caucasus and envelop me like that, because it's happened before. But honestly, I'm just gonna say this is one of my best performances, at least. But to be fair, every other performance has been like with really hard difficulty. See, my units aren't really getting encircled much. I'm recapturing territory. So I have such a concentrated and dense front via the central front that I feel like I can do a realistic penetration just like this. I really do feel that. So the German assault failed. We have passed the first winter of the war. Germans killed 1.7 million of us, whilst we killed about 1 million of them. So far from the gloomy days of the actual. they still have superiority to me, but it is not too bad. The good news as well is that we have units that can be sent to the Caucasus to stop the Germans from taking our oil. That's where the standalone 44th Army is coming into play. Right now I have 3.8 million soldiers, but I think more can be created, especially in the south. I'm just gonna, there's a current penalty of 20-something%, but you know, that's nothing in my opinion. Really losing manpower. You could see it right here. Strikes. What do strikes do? Propaganda heroes. Logda. Ooh. So they're pushing us here, but in the Moscow sector they seem to be. Oof, that's a killing. So, as you can see right here, Norway, we were winning quite by a lot. And Crimea, it's a bit of a pickle in Crimea, I'm not gonna lie. But we push them back. So our army is about 4. This is development right here. I think I can manage 4 speed for now. So yeah, I think it's the front. For still watching, I really applaud you guys for watching me play a video. neutral front. Now they're not even bordering Moscow. Now we have the Kalinin front, which should try to take back this area. So far, it's been quite stable. Leningrad front. As you probably noticed, they've kind of passed the Toropet sector, which in real life was occupied by the Germans, but not this far. Coordinate Lend-Lease. I don't know what that will do. Maybe the United Kingdom. Trying to see. Just gotta grind. At least we didn't lose part of Crimea. We're gonna actually send these soldiers to the Crimea. See if that works. And now the war has encompassed all of the allies. So I'm realizing that I don't think I can stream this long. So I think I'm going to cut it maybe at 3 hours. And I will probably do a 4th live stream way later. The Operation Bag Ration. With the United States not really having to deal with Japan that much, they can pretty much focus on the European theater and help me out. So I think this was a smart move. Let me try to see if I can kill these guys. Reserve front doing fantastic. Really fantastic. I think I gave up. I'm just gonna kick them out. I'd rather just kick them out and take back this fort. So the northern area, not looking the best. But I have backup right here to relieve the pressure. Leningrad, I don't care too much. There we go. Beautiful. So it's looking quite positive. I just need to. Nope, that's not a good idea. I just need to destroy that salient, and it should be okay. I have a lot of equipment. Support equipment still an issue. Medium tanks are improved. Fighters also. So medium tanks, fighters. Which means I need just a bit of power. So I have everything to produce. Oof. Crimea is surviving. I have a bunch of soldiers here. My army is growing. It's nearly 4 million now. I think the Crimea front is getting quite large, so we're gonna have to divide it into 2 and rename it. So I am going to probably name this the first, the Don front, actually, which is reminiscent of the Stalingrad campaign. South and let me get this over. That's not good. That is very bad. So the Crimea front is also gonna be the Voronezh front. So now we have the Voronezh front and we have the Don front. It's still oversized, but at least I reduced some of the pain. Rokossovsky's first tank army is still on the job. German-Soviet war, we've lost 2 million against the Germans, and they've lost already 1.1 million, nearly 1.2. The ratios just are not good, looking good for the Germans at all. However, they are getting near our big cities, so that's worrisome. However, we are pushing them back into they're approaching Leningrad. Finally. Send some of these guys here. I haven't named that front yet, and I don't know if I will. Moscow stands. Beautiful. Now, if we can hold Leningrad, I think, I don't know what we're gonna get. War support. northern front's really... The fronts in the north are really not doing the best. I think we need to open a new front. Especially with the long skis. Gentleman here. Rocco. He doesn't have a front line just yet. He creates a front line here. This is what it is. Whew, we're at 3 minutes. Sorry, 3 hours. With most of this being playing and the first 40 minutes me being me showing my collection. But the war seems to be going quite successfully. I don't think this is sustainable, especially since Rokossovsky is doing his exploitation, executing the battle. I had to really to do another front. They're nearly full strength, these tank divisions, and they're very powerful when they conduct war, and I'm really trying to exploit while distracting them here. I want to encircle quite a number of these units, or at least create a big gap. They're having a big hard time plugging all these gaps. Units there, as you can see. They're advancing everywhere else, it's true, but this is potentially fatal for the Germans. Success. We push them back from run there. So we push them back from Moscow. We still have about 4 million. Our army is just increasing even with these encirclements, especially in the south. Western front's getting a bit battered. I'm gonna call it Bryansk front. Oh. You can see total superiority right now. It's amazing. Of course, in the north, they're killing me a bit. always going to be like that. They have to concentrate in the middle now because they're really decimated. Oh shoot. This is the 4th army or whatever. So I think I moved my units. My units have a real struggle. It's about balance. I have such a high density concentration here that what can they do? Look at what's happening right now. But I have to provide a little bit of equilibrium and help the Bryansk front. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. That would have sucked, even though I did autosave. You see, Leningrad has no force yet, unfortunately. See, they're starting to spread a little too thin. And yeah, I think the invasion is, you can say this has become attrition, very difficult. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. It seems, like I said, the Italians have taken Egypt, but look at the rest of the world. It's in Allied hands. Look at the German-Soviet war. We've lost 2.5 million versus the Germans, but they've lost nearly 1.5. This seems like it could drag on. The Germans have 2 to 4 million manpower left. We have 6 million. So there we go. I'm gonna save that. I think I'm gonna call it quits. 3 hours is enough time. Next time, I guess people can enjoy and whatnot and stuff. Anyway, see you everybody until Operation Bagration finally hits, and goodbye.